Hi, everyone, and welcome to Pinstripe People, a Believe Network podcast sponsored by FanDuel. I'm Sal Maiorana, and my co-host is Michael Lindsley. Good morning, Mike, and I say that because it is a good morning. The Yankees on a 4-game winning streak after a nice 3-game sweep down in Washington. Give me a couple thoughts to start us off here.
Yeah, Sal, good morning to you as well. I mean, I think right off the shoot, number one is the Nationals bullpen confirmed and reconfirmed that they're the worst in baseball. No lead is safe. You're Tony Kornheiser screaming and yelling and bitching and moaning about this every day because that's now his team, I guess, even though he grew up as a Mets fan. But, you know, that bullpen is atrocious. And every single guy they bring in there, they just leave balls over the plate. It's unbelievable. I don't know. You know, they have a manager who we know the situation there. It's kind of a wonky deal. But I don't know who you go to. I mean, at this point in the season, they've been a surprise team. If they had gotten a C bullpen up until the All-Star break, they might be 12 games above 500 if they had gotten an average bullpen. Their bullpen is so bad. Also, that's a cool place to see a game, by the way, for people in D.C. I've been there once. I saw it years ago, an Orioles-Nats game, Battle of the Beltway, as they call it. But it's an open park. I'm a big fan of the Racing Presidents, always have been, always will be. There's no bad seat in the house. I'm not in love with the location, but it's a cool place to see a park, so you got to go see it. A game there, you'll sweat like crazy, but it's cool. And, you know, when Grisham connects, when he does connect, they are beautiful home runs. I mean, he hits them a long way. Ben Rice keeps it going. And the Yankees, end of discussion, the monster takeaways, they just simply needed that. They needed at least wins, no matter how they got them. Thank you, Nationals bullpen, for supplying the big buffet for the Yankees.
They did. I've been to that ballpark twice, actually, and it's a great place. I love it there. Pretty easy to get to with the train. You know, the train, it's like a lot of these stadiums, but train leaves you right off. It's great. So, yeah, you're right. Very nice ballpark. Ball flies there, as we saw for sure in the first 2 days. The Yankees had all their runs came via the home run, which we could talk about that aspect of this weekend. But, look, the Nationals bullpen, Mike, don't forget, the Rochester is the AAA farm club of the Nationals, and I go to a lot of ball games in Rochester. I've seen most of those guys come through here, and they never develop good pitching. I mean, Cade Cavalli started Sunday. He's a homegrown guy, but in general, the Nationals have really had a tough time developing pitching, particularly bullpen. I can't remember one guy in Rochester who you looked at and said, that guy is going to go be a star in Major League Baseball. They don't have him. And we saw it this weekend. The manager, Blake Butchera, 33-year-old guy, we know the story. They've gone super young in the front office.
Yep.
He looked completely bewildered, Mike. And I'll tell you what, Sparky Anderson in his prime would have been completely bewildered with that bullpen performance. That was pitiful. Like you said, the Nationals were right in it, and they still technically are. They're still in the wild card chase. But, man, to lose 3 games the way they lost, leading going into the 8th inning in all 3, that's a tough pill to swallow. Do you realize, you know, the Katie Sharp great stat of the day that we always get? Yeah. That's the first time since 1974 the Yankees have won 3 in a row, trailing going into the 8th inning.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time ago, man. You weren't even born.
I wasn't. I'm getting old, but I wasn't born yet. Then. You nailed it. I was born in 79. Here's the thing. When the Nationals had the Syracuse Chiefs as a AAA team, they were producing pitching.
That's right. They were before the Rochester team.
Yeah. Now, they didn't have tons of bullpen guys. It was more known for the starters. Steven Strasburg, of course, before he blew everything out at this point. You know, if you remember, they had Lucas Giolito. They had Ronaldo Lopez, who they both were traded for Adam Eaton, if you remember that trade way back when. But some of the bullpen guys, though, were pretty good, right? I mean, I recall Blake Trinan, right, I believe came through here, and a couple of others. Now it's nobody. But our dude, Ben Rice, are you kidding me? I mean, the bullpen is what it is. I get it. But Sal, he's hitting all pitching. This is one of those things where when Michael Jordan would go for 55 against a bad team, he was still Michael Jordan. Not saying Ben Rice is going to be Michael Jordan, you know, basketball Jordan and a baseball Willie Mays or anything here. But Ben Rice right now is hitting everybody. It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, pitching, somebody in between. The way he's seeing the ball, and I love when a batter is into it and he is locked and loaded, sends the ball the other way. Ben Rice, that triple the other way. He was so level on that swing, Sal. He's short, he's compact, he's confident. His swing speed is nails right now. He's going to be in the Derby tonight, which I don't love. And he'll be going to the All-Star game. That's a quick trip to Philly from DC, so you love the short rest. But this guy is locked and loaded right now, and he was another big takeaway from the series. But that Nationals bullpen, one of the big reasons why the Yankees were able to win this series.
Yeah, Rice, it's nice to see because he had that little, like the whole team was in a slump there for a while, and he was part of it. But unlike a lot of his teammates, he did snap out of it, and he was great the whole weekend. I mean, they needed him, especially in Sunday. That game, it felt like, the Nationals were finally due to hang on to one, and he comes through with that huge at-bat. I thought that ball was going to be caught. He even said in the postgame, he did too. He didn't think he got it, and it just kept going. As we said, the ball flies in that ballpark when it's 95 degrees, and it just went back, and Cruz made a good effort, but it banged off the wall. So that was huge. I said the first two games, Mike, they hit, all the runs came via the home run. They were 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position in those two games. That is not a recipe for success. It happened to work out in this series because, as we've said, the Nationals bullpen gave it away. At least in the second or the third and final game, they manufactured the runs. There were no home runs, couple nice rallies, couple clutch hits. So that was good to see. But if you ask me, are you comfortable with where the Yankees are right now? I would still hesitate because I still don't think they have fully emerged from the batting slump. There's still guys that are scuffling. It was good to see Bellinger get a few hits. I don't know where his power's gone. He hadn't had a home run for a long time, but he did get a few hits this series. Goldschmidt snapped out of his dismal 0 for 34. We've talked about Rice. Grisham and Chisholm had some big hits this year. McMahon had some big hits. So they're starting to show some signs. Yeah. What sucks now, Mike, is they take 4 days off. Yeah. The All-Star break, they needed the rest. But, man, it seems to come at a bad time for the Yankees because they're just getting on a roll here.
Don't we do that all the time in sports, though? We do rest versus rust all the time. I mean, and in baseball, it's kind of strange, right? Because it's so different than the NFL from the standpoint that when you play, let's say, a Thursday night football game, and you know this all too well, typing away until 2 a.m., and then you get that Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of mini buy into the next week or whatever it is. And if you're playing really well and you kick ass on a Thursday, you may, as a media person, a fan or whatever, say, oh, no, I want to go right back out. But then physically you're like, well, in baseball, it's kind of like, well, you're playing still a million games left after the All-Star break. But these guys are so every day up here, to play that it's almost always – you almost always lean towards that, don't you? In baseball, you almost always lean towards, just play every day because you want that. However, with this specific team, I may lean a little toward the football part. Here's why. Some of these, you mentioned Bellinger, Goldschmidt, some of these guys, they just look tired. I mean, there's a few of these guys look like they're 38 years old. Look like there's a little bit of a breakdown there. And you know what? They're exposed, and maybe it's a time to kind of hit that reset button and try to find some new things at the dish while nobody's pitching to you, right? You kind of do it on your own. You sleep in your own bed a few nights. Hell, take a day or two off and see what happens. But this team's still kind of just to me. They're just there. There's nothing that I go wow about. And I know you tweeted in the moment. I still give you a lot of credit for living on X. I don't know how the hell you do it during these games. But Schlittler calmed down, and I know you want to go back to that game too. But he calmed down, those 2 home runs, and then he calmed down. That was a monster part of, again, why they won that game. Yeah.
Well, let's go back now. So the first game, Ryan Weathers pitched. Now, he's not had, a great, last few starts. I thought he was pretty good, Mike. He kept him in the game. He was effective. Again, they were trailing late, but I liked the way he pitched. So that was good to see because they look with the injury situation, Fried's still a little ways away. Rodon the same. We all thought Weathers was going to go to the bullpen here had they all stayed healthy. They got to keep going to him in the rotation. And if he hasn't already eclipsed it, he's about to eclipse his most innings pitched in one major league season. I think he had more in a minor league season one year, but I think his 96 innings was his high for a major league season. So we're getting to that point where, okay, now we're going to see what he can do after that limit. I thought this first time out was pretty good. And then that was the night that Grisham or Chisholm came through with the big home run. I mean, that I was not feeling too good about that game. I did not see that coming. I believe that they got the first out in the ninth too. I'd have to go back and look at the box, but all I know is Chisholm came through in a big moment. Man, Mike, because then we saw what Chisholm did Sunday with that stupid throw. He is there a more polarizing guy on this team than Jazz Chisholm? Because he can absolutely thrill you and then the next moment make you want to strangle him. He's just a crazy player, but came up big on Friday night.
He did, but again, we did this a couple shows ago where you leaned, I will take him. I leaned, no, thank you. Because of that.
I know.
But I mean, and I guess that's why, you and I doing this show and starting things, that's great. We had our first sort of, you go one way, I go the other. Jazz is so frustrating, and yet you see the ability to just splash and save the team. And he did that. Now, here's the thing with him. I would be totally fine with some of these idiotic things he does in the field if I knew that with runners in scoring position, it happened more just to cover up some of the other crap with runners in scoring position on this team. Because, Sal, here's the thing, man. So many of these guys don't hit with runners in scoring position, and they don't do it consistently. And that's all we're doing here. You see, I hate to ruin the fun, but all we're doing here is we're leading up to October. That's all this is. We're leading up to them being either the division winner or a wild card team, because 400 teams make it, and them going repeatedly 2 for 14, 1 for 8, 0 for 9, 2 for 11. We haven't just seen it this year. We've seen it the last 12 years. So
exactly,
we're just leading up to that. But Jazz gonna Jazz.
That's exactly what it is. Jazz is gonna Jazz, and you just got to live with it. He is not a guy that I'm all that interested in them re-signing because it's going to cost a fortune. Nope. And I don't think you sink that kind of money into him. You've got to find another solution. So for now, let's just hope that as the season progresses here and they get to October, we get more fun Jazz moments than scratch your head, want to strangle him moments.
And let me ask you this question. If the GM knew what he was doing, I thought I could go the whole show without saying this, but if the GM knew what he was doing, couldn't you maybe have him, you could maybe dangle the carrot a little bit. He'd be a sexy trade pick. Somebody could use him from the left side. He's at least flashy, can hit home runs, whatever. He could be a good fit for someone somewhere else. And therefore, you slide Volpe to second. You have a real shortstop. You see what I'm saying here? If you construct the roster some kind of way, you don't have to have Jazz as your second.
But I don't see them doing that, Mike. Because
they aren't.
Yeah, they're not. They're in love with Jazz. They think he's great, and I understand. Like he can be great. I mean, the play he made yesterday, that was a nice play on the grounder, and then he just casually threw it over like a knucklehead, and it ended up almost costing him the game. He is a very talented player. He has not hit for average this year, but it's in there with him, and there's no way they're going to move off of him because, quite frankly, Mike, I mean. Yeah, okay, you can move Volpe to second. No, I don't want Volpe in the lineup at all. And I'm still not sold on Caballero as the full-time shortstop. He's certainly the best option they have on the team. But until they bring up George Lombard, which we hope they do, and we hope he's good, because I'm not going to bank on that either, they still have a shortstop problem. You don't get rid of Jazz and create another hole. So he's going to be with them. But, hey, good for him that he came through in that big moment on Friday night. So then Saturday, Cam Schlittler. Now you're thinking this is the game that they shouldn't have any problem with, right? I mean, Schlittler was great his last time out. First pitch of the game for him, James Wood, who is great, by the way.
Awesome.
I mean, I did a story on him when he came through Rochester, real mild-mannered kid, but you could see it in Rochester. And I actually thought they called him up a little early. I didn't think he was quite ready, but then he did catch on pretty quick. But, man, what a player. So
that swing, man.
Ball. Oh, that swing is – you wish the Yankees guys had swings like that. Compact, short, powerful. That's what you're looking for in a swing. Well, anyways, he crushed the first pitch. And then Curtis Mead, whoever that is, gets him on his 10th pitch. So right away, I'm like, okay, are we back to the Schlittler from Detroit who just doesn't have anything? And quite frankly, Mike, I mean, he did grind out 6 2/3.
Big time.
Pretty good. It kept it right there at 2 runs.
Yep.
But he did walk 4. He admitted he didn't have his best stuff. His command was off. But I give him credit for after that start to never let that offense, which leads Major League Baseball in runs per game, which is hard to believe, he kept them down completely. And then the bullpen, which, Mike, by the way, I don't know if you've looked up these stats because I couldn't believe it when I did. Their bullpen is number one in Major League Baseball in ERA. All the screaming that we've done, and they've actually been, if you look at it, they've been pretty good. During this slump that they went through, this bullpen's been pretty good. It hasn't been the bullpen's fault. So anyways, the bullpen came in. That was the game that Hedrick and Cruz and Bednar finished. And I think it was Cruz. I want to look back at the box score. It was Hedrick got into trouble.
Yep.
Takes over for Schlittler in the 7th inning. It's a 2-0 game. They're losing. And the first 3 guys reached on Hedrick, who, by the way, has been awesome this year.
Yep.
And then he got out of that with a huge strikeout. And then Cruz and Bednar just locked it down. 2-1, 2-3 innings to win that game because of what happened in the top of the 8th. Ryan McMahon's been better. He was driving us crazy, but he has definitely hit the ball better. He crushes the solo, and then they get a guy on base, and Grisham launched one. And then Goldschmidt hits another one, 3 homers in 1 inning. Right. They win that game. So that was a good win too, because again, that felt like they were dead in the water for 7 innings against part of that being Miles Mikolas, who blows. I mean, he is so washed, and they couldn't do anything against him. You're thinking again, here we go with his stupid offense, but they came through at the end when they needed it.
So is McMahon hitting 190 yet? Or is it?
No, he's over that. He's over that. Let me look at he is up to. I've got the box score here. This is
that's going to show you.
I'm looking at Saturday's box score, and he's at 216 through Saturday. So there you go.
Again, if you get a little bit out of him, great. It's like it's a little extra. And from the bullpen standpoint, it is actually pretty easy to figure out why the ERA number is like that. Because Bednar will have. He drives me nuts too, by the way. But
look, Mike, he's gone 19 or 16 straight appearances without giving up a run.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
He has 15. That was the number. That's where I was going. He has these 15 to 20 game stretches where he will just be, you can count on him. But then he has 10 to 12 game stretches where it's too good, too bad, one good, one bad. Then he goes back to the 15 to 20. Sal, I think he did some of that in Pittsburgh. I really did. Right? It was either
at one point they sent him down because it was so bad. Then he came back up and got it straightened out.
Yeah, and it just became kind of longer in terms of that 10-12 game. It became a longer stretch where it was up and way down. But when he does the 15 gamer like this, that probably has helped the ERA part. Cruz, we've alluded to for weeks, is the best guy in the bullpen. And look, he has his moments too, but overall, I think you take him. Hedrick's been great. You mentioned him. So when you take those 3 guys and you level that out over 15 to 20 games, your ERA is probably low. Doval ruins it. Him and Hale are probably the 2 guys that have ruined it all the way. But I thought that was just a gut win, right? I mean, you hear Aaron Boone talk about it all the time. I'd leave him out of it. He's never going to say anything bad about anybody. But you hear like a lot of old school managers talking about those up to dog days or in dog days of just gutting out wins. Finding a way to get it done, no matter what the team is on the other side. And I thought they did that on Saturday, and frankly, probably got him into Sunday feeling pretty good, no matter how that game's going to start. But the big one for me was Schlittler. I got to stick with it. I got to stick with him being the big one there to hold that down, to give you a chance later on, knowing again that on the other side, it's the worst bullpen in the big leagues.
Yeah, he really did a nice job. I said it. I tweeted early in the game after the home runs. It was probably the 3rd inning, and you could just tell he was walking guys. He doesn't walk guys, so it just felt like he doesn't have it today. But man, all of a sudden you look up and you're 2 outs in the 7th, and he's still out there, and they're still in the game. So that was an impressive performance. So on to Sunday, and Will Warren, who's been terrible lately. Will Warren he had a terrible June. His first couple in July weren't very good. And then James Wood starts the game off again with a home run. He was great in this series for them. Really a tough guy for the Yankees to get out. But there again, Warren buckled down. They held the best offense by runs per game. down completely after that. He got into a little jam in the third, and he gets a line drive right at Rice.
Yeah.
Turns it into a double play, got him out of that. And then I think it was a first and third no out situation.
It was.
He got a big strikeout, and then the liner, which was obviously hard contact, but the Yankees caught a break right at Rice, and he gets a double play. And then he got through 5 because his pitch count wasn't great. But here comes his bullpen. Tim Hill gave up his 3rd home run of the series, so that wasn't great. That made it a 2-1 game. And then Shavili got screwed because of in the 7th inning, Shavili comes in, he gets 1 out and a single strikeout, and then they get a stolen base, and then the Jazz Chisholm play, which, again, that's the one we talked about earlier. Makes a nice play to pick it, and then I don't know if he rushed the throw or thought, I don't know what it was. Maybe he thought he had more time, and all of a sudden he realized he didn't. Just a terrible, lazy play. Just complete the play, Mike. That's all I ask. You made the first half. Now just complete the play. He didn't, and they take the lead at 3-2. And again, I'm thinking, shit, they're due to lose one. They can't do this again, right?
It's hard to sweep teams.
It is. It's hard to sweep teams, let alone do it 3 days in a row, trailing in the 8th inning.
Right.
And then here comes Andrew Alvarez for the Nationals. Now, I've seen this guy pitch a lot. He was in Rochester for a long time. Dude, every time this guy came in, whoever they were playing, I don't care who.
Yep.
He just doesn't get it done. And Butera, what else is he going to do? I mean, he's been using all these guys. I'm sure he has the same problem the Yankees do with pitch count, and you keep going to the same people, but he gives it up. He gets the first 2 guys. I'm sorry. Right. He gets the first 2 guys out. Rosario pinch hits for Wells, strikes out, terrible at bat. And then Schumann with the single. Wild pitch moves him up. Yep. He walks Grisham, and here comes Rice, Mr. Clutch, crushes it, 2-run triple, ball game. And then it wasn't quite ball game. Paul Blackburn comes in. He pitched the 8th inning. Bednar and Cruz are down. Blackburn pitches the 9th, 4 pitches to close the game. Mike, Paul Blackburn, I wanted to launch him to the moon early in the season. I wanted to do it last year. I couldn't believe they brought him back. Do you realize in the last 2 months, he has the best ERA in Major League Baseball? 1.16. Paul friggin' Blackburn, who we wanted to get rid of. He's been maybe their best reliever this year.
And he's adding to your little team ERA stat with some of the help there as well. Yeah, I mean, just honestly, kind of an entertaining game in a way, right? I mean, when you think about it, had a little of everything, and then to be able to complete the sweep, and the Rays lost. Finally. That was the other thing. You saw it there. Okay. By the way, James Wood from Rockville, Maryland, also the home of the great band Of a Revolution, OAR, also a 2nd-round pick, if you remember, by the Padres, who was traded
the Soto trade
in the Soto deal, along with C.J. Abrams and a host of others. So, hey, now, if the Nationals end up getting good again, and they can ever figure out how to construct this whole thing, and you build it, around Wood and Abrams, Sal, you got a couple of big-time cornerstone players there who are under 25 years old. Wood is 23 years old. And, I always have loved doing this throughout my, 30 years in media now or whatever it is. Especially in Cooperstown, where I'll be in a few weeks. I always love doing the, hey, if you had to pick, rank your top 5 guys who you'd like to build a roster around if you had 10 years, right, in baseball. If you had 5 to 10 players right now, you might get Wood in that conversation. You might get him in there because he's so hot right now. I just thought it was, again, you went from like Friday, with the Weathers thing, just going in, feeling-wise, right, into like Schlittler middle game, the home runs, he holds it down, kind of. I think Saturday was the gut win. Sunday was almost kind of like the entertaining win. Then you had the surprise at the back end, and that's baseball, Susan, right? Because you get everything in that 3-game set, and to be able to win the final one when the Rays lost, cherry on top, the Yankees get 3 wins in the nation's capital. Great cutaways by by the way, on the buildings. Unbelievable. It never gets old seeing DC from afar. That was a terrific Sunday, I want to say, entertainment, right? Buffet, but also surprise at the end to get it done, kind of the way they did. And again, bravo to Ben Rice, man. He's been the guy this year. He's been the MVP of the team. And, get him back from the All-Star game and have him keep rolling, because I hope he loses right away in the home run derby.
Yeah. Well, good segue, Mike, because we are sponsored by FanDuel, and I'm looking at the home run derby betting odds from FanDuel. Now, the home run derby, Mike, is something I don't think I might have watched the first one 30 years ago. I've never watched it since. Complete waste of time. But I know people love it. It's going to get huge ratings on, I don't even know where it's going to be. Is it ESPN? I'm not even sure where it's on. But there's 8 guys in the home run derby. Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies, plus
And
320. Plus 320. Schwarber is your leading, your favorite to win it, followed by Caminero, Munetaka Murakami, Jack Caglione, Jordan Walker, Bryce Harper. They've got Ben Rice at plus 1,000 as the seventh, and then Wilson Contreras brings up the rear. I think he's hurt too a little bit, but he's plus 1,700. But Kyle Schwarber, that's a pretty good guy to bet on because
home park. In his home park.
He crushes home runs. So that's the betting odds from FanDuel on tonight's. It is tonight, right? Yeah.
And on Fox, by the way, on Fox.
It's on Fox. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this: the home run derby, I do watch it every single year. Now I'm not glued like I used to be,
right?
But it's really fun. I mean, and I'll tell you this: I've been to one All-Star game in my entire life. I wanted to at least cross off. It was kind of a bucket list one. I went to Cleveland years ago. And I went to the All-Star game, went to the Derby. I think that year was the Guerrero-Alonso battle. I mean, in person, when you get 2 guys bombing it late, it's fun. Yeah. I mean, it's fun. You know, you're having a couple brews watching the game, the Derby rather. It is fun. I mean, a Derby All-Star game, those are things you probably want to do, at least to check off on your sports bucket list. Philadelphia, too, they're going to put on a show. People are going to be pounding the beers. They're going to be eating cheesesteaks. It's probably going to be beautiful weather today. I think 85 degrees. And they got their 2 dudes in it. So that'll be a fun time for people, man.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the Yankees are there in 2 weeks, I think. It's part of the early part of the schedule coming out of the break, which, by the way, Mike, starts with the Dodgers.
I know.
Starts with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
They've got a tough little run here. That's why I'm kind of pissed that they have to take this break off when they're just starting to go. They come out of the break 3 against the Dodgers at home, 3 against the Pirates, who Pirates have been a decent team this year. They also hit the ball very well. And then they've got a tough roadie, man. They got to go to Philly, the White Sox, and the Cubs. So they're right there. That's 5 straight series that, we've talked about this, the American League's terrible and really baseball in general, maybe this year, a lot of bad teams. They're not seeing any bad teams in this stretch. So it is going to be critical that they come out of that treading water, because with only 66 to go, and they've got to lose 5 fewer than the Rays to win the division. They can't make a mess of that 15 game stretch there. So get it done.
Yeah. And you look at the teams coming out, right, where they just were the last couple of weeks or whatever, or even the last weekend. Pirates, power pitching led by Skeens. They've had a 6 RBI game the last week from Perez. They had a 10 RBI game from O'Hearn, and they have Reynolds and others who can hit. They field the ball well. They pounded the Brewers yesterday, by the way. The Diamondbacks. Yeah, the Diamondbacks beat the hell out of the Dodgers.
They swept them.
Yep, so the Dodgers are going to be pissed. And when you look at the Brewers and Phillies compared to the Dodgers, just looking ahead crystal ball in the postseason, I think the Brewers are a better team right now. I forget the series. You played 162. I think the Brewers have been a better team, but the Phillies are a more dangerous team. And they may end up being a better team and the more dangerous team when all is said and done. But, yeah, fun times ahead. We'll see what happens. And I'm just looking forward to it. We got a big week, man. We got the All-Star game. We got a huge guest at least booked for the end of the week. And we're rolling on these shows, man.
All right, folks, that'll do it for today. We will be back sometime, probably midweek, and then certainly on Friday. Like Mike said, we've got a great guest for you. We hope you tune in for that. Thanks for being here on the Believe Network. This is Pinstripe People. I am Sal Maiorana. He is Mike Lindsley. We will talk to you soon, and enjoy the All-Star game.